Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Three Guys and a Stogie.
Hi.
Yeah. I am joined here with only one of my co-hosts today,
The less talkative one.
the less talkative one, and he's gonna actually step up and talk today.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But that voice you're hearing is Mr. Donnie Rowe.
Oh, hola.
That was the wrong one. Damn it! I really have to label those.
Yeah, you do. Even if you just like look for a
Something.
like a not even words, just like a logo or something.
Yeah.
Drums, clap, trumpet or saxophone, whatever that is.
And I am your other favorite co-host. At least Don's favorite co-host.
Debatable.
I am Lupe. And I don't think we even talked about what we were going to record today.
Nope.
We didn't even say anything to each other, the three of us.
We'll see if this one gets put out.
Oh, I think it will. We didn't even talk until today. And neither you
all
nor
week,
me,
you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
neither you nor me said anything in the group chat. It took James to say something today that he didn't think he was gonna make it tonight, and unfortunately, he's not here tonight.
Well, I was gonna text. I just usually wait till later in the day, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of ideas, I just thought of an idea for this episode probably, I don't know, maybe hour ago. And I only came up with the idea because I listened to another podcast and they interviewed a 911 dispatcher, and I haven't gone through the entire episode. And it's very interesting, actually, hearing the quote-unquote horror stories that some of these dispatchers have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very eye-opening and kind of scary too at the same time, because some of these poor dispatchers have to go through some crazy ass shit. As far as like the podcast that I heard. So I do have a dispatcher that I will in a minute call, so she can kind of tell us what she's been through, like we can interview her and everything like that. I mean, I'm not 100% sure if you're going to have any questions, but
We'll see. We'll roll with it.
Yeah,
roll with the punches.
Yeah. So how about if I get her on the phone and we can do this? So give me a second.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going. What's going on?
Not much. I'm calling you because you are currently on... Why are you looking at me like that, Don? You are currently on Three Guys and a Stogie podcast.
Oh, hey, guys.
Oh, hi.
James isn't with us tonight.
Because he's a baby back bitch.
And, well, I mean, I kind of talked to you, like, no more than, 15 minutes ago, telling you that I was thinking about doing this.
Uh-huh.
I don't have any questions written down or anything like that. Don said he's just rolling with the punches, so I don't know what he's going to say if he says anything. But,
Well, I guess we're all in that same boat then.
But I was just speaking with Don, saying that I listened to another podcast and they were interviewing a 911 dispatcher, and it kind of inspired me to call you because I know you are as well a 911 dispatcher.
That I am.
Awesome.
So did I get the job?
Did I get the?
So far. So I know there's a lot of shit that I know you can't mention names, but let's see. Let me think of my first question for a second. What did you just Snapchat?
Just a video of you to James.
Okay, well, let me pause for a second. Yes, I did call somebody who is a 911 dispatcher. Her name is Alli, and she's a wonderful person.
That's me. I'm wonderful.
Sorry, I didn't introduce you earlier.
No, that's okay.
But like I was telling you, I had listened to another podcast and they interviewed a 911 dispatcher. Let me start off by asking you what inspired you what inspired you to become a 911 dispatcher? Why are you pursuing this career?
Well, I worked on the other side of it. I actually worked on the ambulance for years before I dispatched.
Okay.
And I dispatched a lot of ambulances before on the private side. So mostly transports and stuff like that. And then got out of it for a little while and just figured, why not now? Why not again? And once you see it working on the ambulance, it's pretty interesting to actually see what goes on behind the scenes to get to there, because a lot of people just think we just materialize ambulances and fire trucks, and that's just really not how that goes.
What?
You look like you want to ask something, you just can't think of it.
It was there and then I lost it. How long have you been in this field?
I've been dispatching at my current job for about 1.5 years, but I've been dispatching since I was probably about 22. So,
wow.
Oh God, here we go. Don't say wow, like I'm old, okay? We'll just say 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah, again, shut up. I'm really not that old, okay?
No, you're really not. You're a few years younger than me.
I'm a few younger than you. I sure am. Yes.
And he hasn't even drinking.
I know.
That was my next question.
I'm drinking water. I had a couple beers after work, but that's a whole different story. I got out at 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. 9 years. Interesting.
I was off today, which was real nice.
Say that again.
I was off today, which was nice. So.
Yeah, I know. We were talking a little bit earlier, and then I ended up.
I am on call tomorrow, though, so that kind of puts a whole damper on the day.
Right. What? Okay, so in the 1.5 years that you have been doing 911 dispatching, I'm sure you've heard some interesting calls. Can you share anything without going against what you shouldn't be doing?
Remember what I told you about yesterday, where somebody called me on 911, just yelled "fuck you, bitch," and then hung up the line? So because they're on 911, I have to call them back to make sure that there's no emergency.
Right.
So, it's ringing back, and you just hear, "What?" And I'm like, "Hi, ma'am, this is the 911 center. Your phone dialed in. Do you have an emergency?" Blah, blah, blah. "I don't want to talk to you. Shut the fuck up, bitch," and then hang up.
Oh, wow.
She sounds like a pleasant lady.
You know what? That was the way I wanted to end my shift yesterday. Just a nice, pleasant phone call.
Yeah, pleasant is a stretch.
But you know what? They're not all like that. That's just one of the, sometimes those are fun to get.
Really
Yeah,
shakes the day up,
so I
probably.
was just gonna say, it kind of like throws the day off, and sometimes in like I mean I would take that as in a better way because it's very interesting. Like okay,
Yeah. I see. I don't. You can't take that kind of stuff personally. You
right,
know,
right,
anybody that calls in there does not know who you are. If you were to call in and be in my juris, you wouldn't know it was me. I don't answer the phone saying my name. You know.
right. I mean I'm pretty good with
So
voices, so I feel like if you would answer I think I'd figure it out.
I see. I don't think you would because my everyday voice and
that's
I'm
another
at
thing.
work
Like
voice.
you have a work voice.
Everyone
and
has a phone voice.
Yeah, everybody has a phone
Yeah.
voice.
And my work voice is on point.
I'm gonna have to call you from like an anonymous number just to kind of throw you off, like a
Uh-huh.
black number or something like that. Just to see if you would answer, to see what you would say.
Well, I guarantee you I would not answer it how I answer the work phone.
Who the
I
fuck is
don't
this?
answer my cell phone 911. What's the location of your emergency?
Be like, wow, this lady really takes her job seriously.
She lives for what she does. There was an older man that called us, and he was really sweet, and he called us to see, I guess, some of the officers, when he goes up to the station, have helped him with his crossword puzzle.
Oh wow.
So he called 911 because he couldn't get through to the police department landline for help on his crossword puzzle.
Okay, that's adorable.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
Have you ever had any of those pizza calls?
No, so that's interesting because people think that that's actually a thing.
Damn it,
and that
don't
people
say
are
it's
trained.
not.
It's not. People, like, in dispatch, we are not trained to know if you want a pepperoni pizza, what exactly that means.
Okay, so say you got that phone call, like how would you handle that? Like you
I mean, just like any other call, we have to see if there's actually an emergency. And
Yeah.
if they're telling us that there's no emergency, but we can hear maybe a scuffle or a commotion, or we're going to send officers.
Right, okay.
I mean, we're not going to not send anybody.
Yeah, and you're is it true that you're not legally allowed to hang up?
Not legally allowed to hang up?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any of the legalities of it, but I mean, if there's someone on the line, I'm not hanging up. And then if we get a call where it's just an open line, we can usually send a text from 911 and they can hopefully answer that way.
I didn't know 911 could text you.
If you text 911, it will come into a dispatch center.
No
If
shit.
I said if they have the text to 911 capabilities. The county that I work for does.
I think Indiana
And
just started that.
I don't know if anywhere you are, if you text 911, if it'll go into the closest center that maybe has it. That I'm not sure.
I always thought that was like a myth because I seen those pictures on Facebook for a while.
No, it's real.
I wish you didn't tell Lupe that because I would have wanted you to text him and try to scare the shit out of him with 911 texting him.
I don't think it comes up as, 911. I think it comes up as like, I don't know what number it actually comes up as. But it'll say, the county that you work for, this is this in this county, and whatever we type.
See, and I get text messages similar to that all the time, like, hey, this is so-and-so from Cherville Lawyer Center or some shit like that.
No, that's people just trying to scam you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Right.
was getting to. Like, if I say, hey, this is Alli from such and such county, 911. Like, if I didn't know Alli, I would be like, well, that's a fucking scam. I'm not going to answer it.
Well, just know that I'm also not going to say my name in those texts, so those are still a
Oh, yeah,
scam.
that's true. That's true. Hey, this is 911 from such and such county is what I should have said.
My name is Alli, and I am the county.
This is Alli County. Alli speaking with you.
Alli will be back with you shortly.
So, have you ever had like depressing or like super sad 911 calls?
Oh yeah, that's pretty daily, pretty regular. I mean, that's to the point where you don't want to sound callous, but that's part of your job, you
Yeah.
know.
See, but
It,
that has to affect you like mentally too, though. Hearing
oh well,
like
yeah,
certain calls like that.
absolutely it does.
I don't
But
know
you
if I
have to
could handle
also know that you did the best that you could do to get them the help that they needed in their most vulnerable time.
that. Yeah. I still like I feel like I would try to take that call, and then if I couldn't help at all, I'd be in my car heading to that location to try to help. I don't know. And I don't want to call myself sensitive because I don't feel like that's like sensitive act, but it's just the kind of person I am.
Right. Well, I mean, you can only handle one call at a time, and you do everything you can for that call that you're on. That's all you can do.
What's
And
the-
you have to also think about it that you're not the only one that's doing things. You have your officers, your, first responders, fire departments, everybody else is working with you.
Is there one you can think of that was the most upsetting that you've had?
Mm, yeah, but I probably shouldn't talk about it.
Oh, yeah,
That's okay.
It
maybe not.
it was really it was very, very awful to the point where it affected a whole city.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah. But then you get on the other side of that and you have really exciting ones. Like I helped a grandmother when she was on her way to her daughter's house have her daughter give birth to a grandchild.
Oh.
Yep. And she walks into the door and she just goes, hold up, hold up, hold up. You want me to do what? I was like, okay, I need you to get a shoelace. We're going to tie it around the umbilical cord. And she goes, should I take it out of the shoe?
Should
I was like,
I
yeah.
take it? Nah, put the baby in the shoe.
I was like, yeah, you should. Oh, and she was so funny. She was so frantic, and she kept calling it the umbilical cord. And I was like, yeah, oh goodness, congratulations.
That's actually pretty cool.
Should I take it out of the shoe?
And like going through the instructions on like helping someone through giving someone else like childbirth,
Yeah.
it's wow. They're detailed, very graphic, and things like that. Like I'm not thinking, yeah, you should take it out of the shoe, but in her mind she was like, but should I take it out of the shoe? She's panicked. I'm not there seeing what she's seeing. I don't know.
That would totally be me. Like, what
I'm like, well,
does it have to be a
do you want
certain
your
color?
shoe dirty? Right. I don't know, what shoes do you hate? Like, what shoes
Do
do
I
you
take
not
it
like?
out of the work boot or the dress shoe?
How long does it have to be?
Right. Oh my God. All I'm picturing in my head are those. Do you remember when you were a kid and you had those like laces that were like springs?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm picturing.
You pull
Or
it out.
Velcro. She's like, all I have are Velcro shoes. Well, yeah. So that one was probably like the coolest on the borderline of just being really funny and really awesome all at the same time.
Yeah.
See, when you mentioned the other one, like affecting the whole city, right away my mind went to thinking, what happened that could have affected a whole city?
Isn't that nuts that like your mind could go really anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And who knows, like the first call that you take when you sit down in the morning could be that call. You never know. Or it could be, you just get a suspicious person call and it turns into something that changes a lot of people's lives.
So, What's the most common call that you usually get, or what's the most common call that a dispatcher would get?
Um, I would say probably like reckless drivers or suspicious vehicles or people.
For some reason, I would have guessed like domestic abuse.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I mean that those come in a lot as well, but it's really not as common as someone's walking down the street and someone thinks that they look fishy,
Mm-hmm.
You mean
or
cops
someone's
isn't
looking out the.
always accurate?
No. I mean, now when it's the weekend and there's a lot of alcohol going on, the number of those calls definitely goes up. But if you're looking at like a Monday through Friday, they're not as many. But thinking of those, they happen, doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Yeah.
7:30 in the morning and you're getting a domestic.
Wow. People can't
I
put
believe that.
people can't put their
Oh,
hands
yeah.
down. Can't keep their hands off each other.
No, and a lot of times it's like, it's a family and people have been together and they have been asked to separate and you can't. Where are you going to go?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but is it the type of job with much of an opportunity to like move up anywhere?
I mean, yes and no. I think it kind of depends on the department that you work for.
Oh,
Where I
probably
work,
like bigger department, better opportunity.
I would say so. I mean, because then you have room to advance throughout the ranks of telecommunicator, I would assume.
Yeah.
Where I work, you are trained in everything all at once. And then really the only place to go up is to be like a supervisor or a trainer or, in admin. But everyone in my room that I sit with is an equal level telecommunicator. It's just how many years they have under their belt. And we all are trained to dispatch police, fire, and call take.
Bigger cities, they have multiple dispatch for certain areas, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
fire and police and EMTs and everything like that, correct?
Yeah. And ours is we dispatch for most of the fire departments and police in our county, except for maybe like 2. But a lot of places, if you call 911 and you get the police department and you have a fire, they actually have to transfer you to
Yeah.
the fire department.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen in our center. We take care of everything pretty much in-house.
It all probably depends on how big of the place, like where you are, is, and
I think it has a lot to do with,
Yeah.
cities working together, whether or not they want to be on their own or not, and follow, whether the county's rules or just that city's rules.
Yeah. Lupe looks like he's thinking real hard.
I am.
Oh, do you see smoke coming out of his ears?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you're funny.
I'm hysterical. Thank you.
See, what people don't know is I've known Alli for, I don't know. I think I met you in high school, maybe?
It was a really long time
It
ago.
was a very long time ago.
Again, we don't want to age ourselves.
Well, yeah. All I'm saying is when I graduated, I think I'm
I don't
not
think I knew you in high school. I think I knew you in my 20s.
local bar in Lansing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right.
Yep. I had no hair back then. Remember those days?
So, okay, so I must have met you right after that. Because I believe you had, like, shorter hair.
Yeah. I shaved my dreadlocks off into this like G.I. Jane haircut and walked into Jack's because I shaved my head in the apartments above Jack's. Oh, God.
Yeah, those are some days.
No, I can like taste it and smell it. Ugh, let's not.
Well, and then there was my wedding night too. That was interesting.
Hush. Oh Lord, I am not proud
Actually,
of that night.
that is when I remember you being bald. That because I swear I do have pictures of you at my wedding and you were bald.
I was very bald. Very bald.
So you shaved your head twice?
I just kept it shaved
Oh, you just kept it that short. Okay.
because the amount of like I would get to like a certain stage of mullet and I would have to cut it again because I just could not look at myself. It was horrible. And that was when I was working at Menards and people would come up to me, "Excuse me, sir," and then I turn around with a face full of makeup on and they're heavily confused.
I'm sorry, Don's over here taking like alien pictures of me or something.
Oh, okay.
I use the Sid filter on Snapchat.
Oh, it was Sid. Oh God. That was kind of a little bit of a tangent we just went on.
It sure was.
No, we never do that here.
No, not at all. I feel like I had a ton of questions and I just lost them all when I started.
It's okay. I mean, my job is interesting, but it's not like super interesting.
I don't know. I feel like it's probably one of the more interesting jobs that of my friends. You know, I feel like it's one of the most interesting out of all of my friends.
Okay, so I think, okay, all right.
It probably makes
But
it
I
less
can't-
interesting because I'm sure there's a ton of stuff you can't talk about.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I
If
mean,
I could-
unless you're probably like in person with someone.
Right. You know what I mean? I just don't want to ever put someone's business out there.
Hmm.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Yeah, it's all right. We only have like 4 listeners.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, 4 listeners.
We always say that, and we actually find out there's like 15.
Wow.
Well, no, 14 now because
I think you're being too generous.
I think Alli doesn't listen to us anymore.
Oh, no, I kind of stopped listening, but only because I used to listen to you guys when I would clean the Airbnbs, but now I work too much.
Well, just throw it on in the background while you're answering calls. And if someone asks who it is, just tell them, be like, they can listen too.
And then I'm going to boost your listeners by doing that.
Right.
Okay, all right. I think you're onto
That's a
something.
plan, yeah.
All right.
Or
I'm
just
like,
when you
all right,
answer
everyone.
calls, have the Bad Boys song on in the background.
911, bad boys, bad boys. Could you imagine that though? Like sitting in the dispatch room and everyone's like, "Alli, turn off your podcast. I have to answer the phone." I'm like, no, sorry guys, it's in the middle of my segment.
I just thought, what if 911 used like how we used to have like the call tones and they had the Bad Boys song?
Oh my God.
You know, it's interesting sometimes, like when we have to call 911 numbers back because we get pocket dials all the time. But like I was saying earlier, we still have to call them back and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And people's voicemails are hilarious. But the amount of times that I've been duped on the hello,
Oh my
Hello?
God. I couldn't tell you how many times
I'd be
left
so
that one.
pissed. I hate that.
I don't care how many times it gets you. Like you feel like you're 15 again, and you're like, "Damn it!" And you can't slam the phone down because you got a headset on. Like,
I'd slam the headset down.
but I like the first couple times that happened to me, like the back of my neck turned red, and I was like, "Alli, this should not bother you as much as it."
If that happened to me now, I would be so upset. And then I just don't know.
Because you feel duped. You're like, man, I feel stupid.
I'd stay on just to leave a voicemail and call the person a fucking idiot.
Well, I like paying my bills, so.
Well, no, I just meant personally, not while working.
Oh.
That would be pretty comical.
Yeah. Yeah, those ones are the worst. Or like when you hear the older people, they're like, you can hear someone in the background going, "Okay, Mom, go." "Hi, this is Betty." I like those because I'm like, oh, they're sweet. They're trying.
They're trying.
Yeah.
I'm being watched by Kirk.
So I find that joke hilarious. Donnie probably has no idea what the hell we're even talking about. She said she's being watched by Kirk. Kirk
heard her.
is yeah. Kirk is her cat. And
Is it named after Captain Kirk?
No,
Oh, okay.
well,
you lost interest immediately.
No, I'm not really a Star Trek person anyways.
Kirk
okay.
Kirk has no eyes. So Kirk is not watching her. Just pointing his face in the general direction of her.
He didn't even see it coming.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't know how I feel about that.
So one of the very first times I hung out with Alli just recently, she tells me she threw a surprise birthday party for Kirk. Again, Kirk has no eyes.
Yep, got that part.
She goes, didn't even see it coming. I fucking died in Target. I died.
He's a good boy. I told that joke to my mom when it was his birthday, and she hung up on me. She was like, "Don't talk about my baby like that." I'm like, I'm your baby."
I'm your baby. No, you got replaced. So
Really quick. Like between Lorelai and Kirk, I don't exist. I sent my mom a meme today, and it said, "When are you giving me grandchildren?" And then it's this cat drinking out of a juice box with a bib on. And my mom says, "I'm impressed the cat can drink out of a juice box." Nothing about anything else. I'm like, oh God, you are my mother.
Oh, poor Kirk.
He's living his best life. Don't feel sorry for him.
Well, yeah, he is. You're right. He is.
He just got down off the cat tree all by himself, and he's walking over to the water bowl. Hasn't ran into a damn thing.
I was waiting for it, and he's walking into the wall.
You can ask Lupe. He doesn't run into stuff.
No. Oh,
He
shit.
will sprint around the house without running into anything. He's more graceful than the cat with eyes.
I have both eyes, and I run into shit.
Yeah, I know, right? I do too. Her other cat is a very sassy girl.
Oh, she's a fatty catty.
So she's like you.
Me or her.
You.
Because Allie's pretty sassy too.
No, you're the sassy girl.
I am, babe.
You know.
I was like, wait, is he calling me fat or sassy? Like, I wasn't sure. And I was like offended, but I was confused.
I would have died when you just said that because Lupe was taking a drink, so I thought he was going to spit it out.
I'm glad I didn't.
I was like, I mean, I guess I'm kind of both, but I mean, I prefer just to be called curvy and rambunctious.
I don't know. Rambunctious might be playing it
Coy.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit more beyond. It's beyond
Ouch.
that for sure.
Ask Lupe what happens when you go down an aisle of pillows when you're shopping with me.
Do you touch all the pillows?
Other than that, she blasts you in the stomach with a fucking hard, heavy-ass pillow and knocks the wind out of you.
Well, yeah, that's what you do in a surprise pillow fight.
Thank you.
And then I'm over here
I
looking
was
for another
eyeing
pillow like, okay,
all
I can't
these
find one as
pillows, and
heavy
I'm like,
as that.
this one is gonna be gold.
Well,
And
you think
I
she's gonna just warn you? That's not how a
Right.
surprise pillow fight goes.
She goes, feel how heavy this is. Whack! Oh! Completely knocked the wind out of me.
That's
oh, I
funny.
laughed so hard. It was great.
It's like the guy I see on TikTok that just throws pillows at people and then just starts fighting them.
Yes. Or like when they're on the street and they like kick the soccer ball at them and
Yeah,
see if
that
they can
one's
make
good
it
too.
between the two cones. Yeah.
And then they rate them out of 10.
Yeah. I would probably just fall over the ball.
I saw a video the other day where the guy was talking to like a Walmart employee by a basketball hoop, and another guy just came over and just dunked on him. The Walmart employee wasn't happy.
Oh.
They got kicked out.
Oh. Poo-poo.
I've never been kicked out of a store.
That you know of.
Oh, well, I don't know how that works, but I do remember one time I was in Meyer with, I want to say it was Don and my buddy Joey. And they rolled a ball at me, and I launched it over about 3 or 4 aisles, and I said,
I was waiting
do
to
it
get
for the
kicked out.
Vine. That was when Vine was fucking popular. Oh, so you were with us. I kicked that ball. I launched that ball, and I was waiting. Yeah, we were waiting to get kicked out that day.
I don't think I've ever been kicked out of anywhere. I've been asked to leave quite sternly. Well, I've been kicked out of a couple bars, but never like a store.
I don't know. I think sternly being asked to leave was getting kicked out.
Yeah, I see. My brain isn't working very fastly right now.
I don't fastly.
You almost got the spit take that time.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't escorted out the doors. I was just told you need to leave.
Yeah, that's still being kicked
Yeah.
out.
So,
All right. Well, then I've been kicked out of Cabela's.
what? Wait. Whoa. Wait. Why?
That's a story for another time. There was a Hitler joke involved. It was terrible. It was
Jesus.
very unclassy. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was not me. Okay. First of all, I was with other people, and we were at the checkout line, and it escalated very, very quickly. I laughed, but I don't think that I deserve to be kicked out of the store.
So you were guilty by association. That I can't even fucking say it.
Ooh. That's a doozy there.
Association.
Association.
Yeah, I had it. I got it. I got it the last time I
Now
said it, I
ask him
got
to
it.
spell it.
No.
Would you like to buy a vowel?
No.
Oh.
Hold on, wait a minute. This isn't getting turned on me. I will cut all of this out.
Okay. We haven't talked about 911 in 10 minutes.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
That's usually how our episodes go. We just go on tangents, and then we lose
okay.
we lose the subject of the
Yeah.
episode.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You would
All
know
right.
that if you've listened lately, but
I have not.
She didn't like me.
But at least I'm openly admitting to that.
This
true.
is
You could always say, "Yeah, I listen." Just after you hang up, be like, "Fuck those guys."
Fucking idiots. Right, but see, I won't.
She won't, but she's thinking it.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I mean,
hurts
no.
more.
She'll text you after this, be like, "Don't fucking call me again like that."
Ever again. Well, first of all, before he called, I had to make sure that it wasn't going to be past my bedtime, which it is.
That's me every Friday.
Yeah.
Like, my bedtime is normally 7:30.
Wow.
I'm old.
And she's like a few years younger than me. Or what I said earlier, a few youngers.
A few youngers. It's okay. We'll get there.
Tomorrow we work on colors.
Stay tuned next week.
So, do you see yourself doing dispatching for
Okay, back on track.
Thank you. Good call. Yes, I do. I am actually applying to dispatch in Florida,
Oh.
which is super detailed to get down there. The application process was nothing like it is up here. I had to take a polygraph test, all
Wow.
sorts of mental evaluations, physical evaluations. Remember I told you that's when my mom was like, don't worry about anything but the mental evaluation. I was like, gee, thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like going down there, I was like, this is brutal. Their applications are like 25 pages a piece.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're brutal. And I've never had to do a polygraph test before, but I don't ever want to do one again. And I know that for any time I apply to a job down there, I'm going to have to take one.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be nervous of taking it, and then I would fuck my mind up.
Yeah, I'm the type that would get nervous for no reason. Be like,
Oh, yeah.
if that came up false, it's because I'm nervous. It's just, and I just
And
make
it's
it worse
really-
for myself.
Right. And that's exactly how I felt when I had to take my first one. I'm like, I just want you to know that none of this is going to be accurate. Unless it's good, then it's totally accurate. And, you know, you have to go through. So your polygraph takes almost all day.
Wow.
And you have to go through a bunch of, like, I don't even know, like, baseline questions.
Yeah.
And then they have to quiz you on them while you're hooked up to the machine to see where your baseline lands.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And the woman that gave me that polygraph test, oh, woof. She was terrifying.
See, if I was a polygraph person too, that'd be like one of the biggest red flags to me if someone came up to me and was like, it's all just going to be inaccurate because I'm just so nervous.
Right, exactly. I would be like, this bitch is dumb. Like, I'm not hiring her.
I'd be like, all right, well, I'm just going to write down fail and make you go through
Right.
it anyways.
You just, like, I'm picturing one of those big stamps that says denied. Right.
That's funny.
Well, thanks for the chocolate bar because I was shaking. Have a good day. I'll leave now.
Yeah, I would just psych myself out doing some shit like that.
And plus, it's really hard being up here and then having to apply down there. And all these places are like, well, when can I get you in for an interview? I'm like, well, you know, I don't come down until February.
Well, that's like I was telling Lupe for my job, if I wanted to try and go work at one of the nuclear plants in Illinois, I'd have to do like a 300 and something like questionnaire, and then after that they have you talk to a psychiatrist like to see if your answers match up and stuff.
Right.
And then
We
I
did
think
one
they
of those
also do
too.
a credit check.
Yeah, we had to do that too. We did a credit check, and I'm like thinking, I answer phones. What is
What does that
what
have
does
to
my
do with it?
on-time car payment have to do with anything?
Well, for me, I can kind of understand because if you're going to work at a nuke, I mean, they want to make sure that you're not going to be in such a bad spot where you're going to take money to fuck shit up.
Right, that I understand. But I have no access to anything.
Except for headsets.
I mean, you do kind of have access to police control.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not just me that's in there. But we had to do that too,
One
where we
cog
had
in
to
the
do
wheel will
like
fuck it up.
yeah, I guess. You're not wrong. Not wrong. But we had to take all of those tests where you answer all the Scantrons and then they ask you the questions in person. Is that's what you're talking about?
Sort of, yeah, because like one of my classmates, he tried to go work at one of the nukes. I think one of the questions was like, it was asking like if you ever done like drugs, smoked weed, or like heavy drinker or something. And it was one of those questions where the answers were like true, very true, false, very false.
Ooh. Always very true.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, he put very false because he's never done any drugs or anything, but he's
Right.
drank, but he didn't want to seem like a druggie
Right.
if he put true or something. So he didn't really understand how to answer it. So
It's
when
almost
the
like they're setting you
psychiatrist
up for
talked to him,
failure in that way.
Yeah.
when the psychiatrist talked to him, I guess they just said his answers didn't match up, so they denied him working there.
Wow.
That's dumb.
And I was like, that seems like a question where you got to put kind of true because you've drank but you haven't done drugs.
Right. That's how I would take it too.
Can I have a piece of paper to write my essay for the back?
Yeah. So this is why I answered question 4.
So is this where
Right.
you want me to list all the drugs I've done in my life?
When I did my polygraph, they had me go into detail of dates, amount of times. I'm like, whoa.
I think I remember you telling me that.
Well, I told Lupe, I was like, I kind of looked at her like, are you serious? How much time you got? Because
That's one of my friends is a cop, and he put down one of our other friends as his reference or whatever.
uh-huh.
So I guess a detective had called to just ask him about him and stuff, and he went into so much detail, on this night in 2015 you guys got pulled over at this intersection.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he said he pulled out 10 examples of that. I'm like, first off, why are you getting pulled over so much?
Right. They
But-
did that for me too, but they sent out questionnaires to my references, and then my references had to answer those questionnaires, typed answers.
Wow.
Well, after he told me that, I was like, it must just go by department then, because our friend Pat was a cop, and I got called as a reference for him, and the detective was just like, is he a good guy? Does he work good? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, that's all I needed. I'm like, oh.
I think it depends on who's assigned it's not your case, but you know what I mean, your application.
If the detective's in the mood to ask questions.
Or how thorough they are, yeah. Because when I got hired for the job that I'm at now, I mean, with previous dispatch experience, I don't have anything on my record or anything anyways. So they called my references and they did the same thing. They were like, hey, is Alli a schmuck or not? And I guess enough of them answered that I wasn't. So,
Well, at least you put down good references then.
Yeah.
yeah. That's why I didn't list Lupe.
Smart.
I know.
Lupe would have been like, yeah, she was a good person when we were, I don't know.
Easy. Easy. Easy.
She was all right, but one time she really knocked the wind out of me with a pillow, so I don't know. I'd say pretty schmuckish.
She's very violent. She hit me with a pillow, and I just wasn't expecting it.
And then I peed, and then I was sad, and she left me in the store.
Lupe's sitting there like, what did this turn into?
Well, with that being said, you can find us on all your major podcasts.
Okay, he didn't pee his pants.
Just sharded a little bit.
Thanks, Don. I shed a tear. Nobody's seen it.
When?
When you hit me in the stomach with the pillow.
Oh, you didn't. You're lying. I was laughing so hard, but I was still looking at you like you're lying.
Well, I appreciate you taking this call.
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier, I didn't know what we were going to do this episode, and then hearing that last podcast that I usually listen to, they interviewed a 911 dispatcher, and it inspired me, I guess you can say.
Well,
Definitely
thanks for
interesting.
calling me, and thanks for having me on your guys' podcast.
Even though she won't listen to this, but
Well, maybe I'll listen to this one.
Just this one.
see, I can't talk shit though because I don't listen to any of them.
Yeah.
Well, then what the fuck?
He doesn't even. And okay, so we had our 1 year episode. That's our last episode. That's actually up. Is our 1 year
I actually did
episode.
see it. Okay, I saw that.
And we collabed with another podcast. The podcast is called Stir the Pot, and they are a true crime podcast, and it's actually pretty interesting if you're really into like true crime and paranormal activity and stuff like that.
You know, I love me some true crime.
And what makes it funny, like funny for them, is they will smoke a little weed in the beginning and then go through the story, which sometimes can go completely off the rails or can go completely awesome. And there's been a lot of really good episodes, and one of them is my co-host's cousin, James's cousin, and they go by code names, Velma and Daphne, and they're awesome people, both of them. Where was I going with that?
I don't know. We started about me not listening.
Oh, yes.
Get it together.
Oh my god.
I was wondering where this story was going.
Well, I plugged Stir the Pot. That's where I was going, but there was more to it. But yeah, the one that edits their show said that she doesn't listen to it either. And the other one,
because we both don't like hearing our voices.
yeah, they don't like hearing their voices.
Yeah, I don't like hearing my voice either, so I probably still won't listen to this one. You're right.
Well, it's like
And I'm sorry for anyone out there that listens to this episode for my voice.
Well, that's like when we record, I don't even wear the headphones. I just wear them on my head. I think the only episode I listened to was one where I wasn't here.
Yeah, he wasn't even on the episode, and he listened to it.
Oh, well, see, that makes sense then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can just hit play and just mute it, and then we can get, listens.
Well, that's playing the system.
Exactly.
Okay.
Isn't
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to bed. I appreciate you having me on here. Make sure you're nice to your 911 dispatchers.
Yeah, Lupe, don't call in and call him a bitch.
Yeah, I know it was you.
No. I was going to come up with something, but I couldn't think of anything. But, yeah. Yeah, no, we really appreciate you coming on, too. It's very interesting. And I'm sure, like, I'm going to think about all the things that I wanted to ask you. So as soon as I do listen or do remember what I wanted to ask you, I'm going to write them down just so we can get you back on and talk a little bit more about it too.
Absolutely. Have me on again, whether it's 911 related or not, and I won't listen to that episode either.
All right. Well, that sounds good.
Bye, guys.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.
That was Alli, ladies and gentlemen. She's
Still don't remember her from your wedding.
She's a friend of mine. She's actually a friend of mine and my ex-wife's. And she's fun people. She really knows how to have a good time.
Well, I mean, anyone that I can make fun of you with is fun people.
Yes, I know. So, Don, we've actually been recording for just about an hour now. So, why don't you tell the people where they can find us?
Everywhere.
Where is everywhere? Be a little bit more specific.
Mainly Spotify and Apple podcasts.
And we are on YouTube, and we are actually on Instagram as well at Don.
I don't fucking know. You made it.
We're on Instagram at 3GuysPod2021, and look forward to the new name of the podcast. The people that are listening, all 5 of you.
Danny, text Lupe with some ideas.
We need some ideas, ladies and gentlemen.
Chris, text Lupe with some. Don't bother me with it. Text Lupe with some ideas.
Yeah, we're trying to get like a new name, and maybe next episode I'll explain why we're trying to get a new name. but we've been going on
Yeah,
long
maybe when
enough.
James actually fucking shows up,
Yeah.
he's
So,
gonna be upset.
so I believe if we don't have anything else, which I know I don't, Don,
Yeah, I totally got a lot of stuff.
Don is looking at me very blank. I think that will be our time to.
Yeah, don't forget, I'm the one that just bounces off of people, and not because I'm fat. I meant talking wise.
All right, well, with that being said, I am your favorite host with the most,
Well-
Lupe. And then I have one half of my favorite co host, Mr. Donnie Rowe.
See ya.
And we are out this bitch. Peace.